All right, I'd like to call to order the the Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, Town of Trumbull, Connecticut Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Can everyone please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have all the commissioners had an opportunity to look at last meeting's minutes? Do I have a motion to approve? Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. Our first application tonight is application 2505, 86 Wilson Avenue, Ralph Jochi for Hoa Pham.
Yes.
Just go ahead and please state your name and record for your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Ralph Chochi, 72 Shawnee Road, Trumbull, Connecticut.
And go ahead and state the nature of your application.
And the nature of the application is to sell the house basically burnt down last January. Front yard, we're looking to get the front yard reduced from 50 feet to 15 feet. To lead to the front of the steps. 50 feet to 19 feet for the house. Front yard, Wilson Avenue, which is the existing from 50 feet to 26 feet.
Just give us an opportunity to take a look at the plans. Was the existing footprint of the house that burned
House
down?
is going to be basically exactly except the garages, be on the south end.
Okay. Commissioners to my right, do you have any questions?
I have a question. On the
Mr. Shansky.
yes. Yes, sir. On the new plan for the entry and the porch and the stairs, I don't know, I thought there's only 2 steps shown on your on the front. And it's showing off, how many steps, does it have to go back? My point was, do you need a 15-foot? Can you be back a little bit?
The engineer hasn't done it. I don't really know exactly how many steps.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this here, and I see only 2 steps off of the porch. This is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Right here, see? There's the 2 steps. And I think he has a,
Well, you know what, this is 2 different people,
okay.
so I don't know.
All right.
This is really more for the elevation, what they requested.
Right,
At this point, we did not know
okay,
what,
okay.
anything to do with
That's okay, that's just, yeah.
It was just for the elevations, which is
Right.
what they requested.
Right, okay, thank you.
Commissioner, also, when you're looking at that, per our regulations, any structure under 36 inches does not require, it's not considered a structure, so it wouldn't have to adhere to the setback. So if there were a couple of steps, as long as they were below 36 inches, then he would be okay encroaching on that front setback.
Commissioners to my right, any further questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may. So, Mr. Chiochi, I noticed in your application package, you're the agent who's authorized to act on behalf of the owner, is that correct?
Correct. And the owner's here.
Great, thank you. And then the only other question I had is a clarification. So with regard to the property that's being proposed today, really from the existing former house to today, the only real variance is from the 68 feet from the existing former house to the side yard to 43 feet. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Great. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Commissioners to my left, do you have any questions? Thank you very much, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this application? Please come forward. Or is there anyone here present who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Please come forward. All right, I'm going to close the public section of our meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded? All in, it's damaged by fire and they're building the same spot.
Yeah, and I think if you compare what was existing, it was non-conforming to the proposed. It's only that one variance to the side yard.
And it's par for the course in that neighborhood. All in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Application two, I'm sorry, Mr. Chochi, before engineering approval, the applicant must demonstrate compliance with administrative policy for stormwater management and drainage design standards, obtain a driveway and a sanitary sewer permit. Thank you. Application 25-06, 35 Broadway, Veronica Ventreschi Design LLC for Machado's Property LLC. Can you go ahead and state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Veronica Ventreschi. I'm here in Chicago, 435 Broadway. And I have here the letters that I would like to drop off.
So it was brought to my attention that the letters that were sent out for this application were not sent out in a timely fashion, so not all of the neighbors have responded. Or still have time to respond to this application?
Yeah, so what we made, to make sure that everybody has received the letters, it was supposed to be dropped off.
Veronica, can you just turn your microphone on?
It's the button on the bottom. There you go.
There we go. So in order to make sure that everybody has received the form, the application, we have sent in person for every house. We have dropped off in every property. And also we have sent express, so everybody has received it. And also we went house by house to make sure that everybody has received it. So we have the confirmation, everybody that we could find at house, at home, could confirm that they received the application.
However, they still have time to state a response. Mr. Corbo?
So, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if my mic's on here, but so I think it can be an appealable issue. So my recommendation to the commission, because the variances being sought tonight are of material nature, that you can proceed with your application. But I would recommend that the commission, for your client's benefit, not vote tonight, they vote next month. Because at that point, they continue to keep the hearing open. This way, next month, there'll be no doubt that everyone has had the time, they have received the notice. And so if they don't speak about it next month, then it will be well and clear. But if we were to vote tonight, I suppose a neighbor could raise the issue that they did not get the notice.
Yeah, because we spoke with the city attorney as well, and the only point that he brought was that everybody has to be notified. So to make sure we have dropped off everything, and that's what we could do at the moment. So we have the confirmation of the neighbors that received the letter, and once we spoke with the attorney, what he brought was it's up to the board to approve now, since everybody has been notified.
I'm the town attorney. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if you spoke with someone else on it, but I was asked about this question.
Okay.
Again, if it were a minor variance,
Uh-huh.
you're putting on a porch or something, I could understand that, but you're creating a new building lot. That's a significant nature. So I do think it's advisable for your client's benefit that the hearing be kept open until next month. When the vote happens, if it's in the client's favor, that a neighbor can't raise that on an appeal.
Okay.
That's my advice. It's up to you if you choose to.
So you basically have two options. You can present now, and we keep this hearing open and continue it in next month.
Okay.
Or you can wait and just present next month. But if you present now and we vote on it and the neighbor appeals,
Okay.
and you've already started to break ground, you're gonna, and we may not, we then may have to go back on it, and you've already spent money about materials. You get the difference?
I understand. Yeah.
So it's up to you. Which way would you like to proceed? You can present now, and we'll keep it open, and then, or you can wait a month, present then, and then there won't be any doubt at all that all the neighbors have had adequate time to respond to your application.
Okay, we would like to present today.
Okay,
Okay?
go ahead.
All right, so the variance that we are requesting for the lot frontage of a subdivision that we are planning to do, and also for a garage height that we are changing as well. So here, I have the survey. I believe that everybody has the survey as well. Okay, so as you can see here, so the existing lot is 6,594 square footage, the entire area. And you can see that the shape of the lot is not a regular shape. It's a unique shape, and we have a very high slope in this lot. So from here to the existing house, we have around 13 feet, the difference of the height. So we are proposing here in this flat area of the lot to subdivide. For this happen, and we not have a non-conforming lot in here, we have to reduce the entry of this lot. So this proposal lot 2 is gonna have all the dimensions for proposal lot that applies for all the zoning regulations. So we have any issues with this one. For this one, we have the request, we should have 125 feet for the frontage, and we're requesting 19. The reason why we're requesting 19 here, because we already have an existing driveway, and since I spoke, the topography of this lot is very irregular. So we have a huge slope where in this area, we can't build anything. There is no house that we can build here, there is no dwelling that we can build here as well. I have the photos here of the lot. So what we are planning to keep here is only the entry to access the house all the way. So keep the existing driveway. Do the repairs because it's not in good shape, but we are planning to repair it. But we are planning to keep as it is right now. It is inside of the lot, so they will be able to access the lot from here until the existing house on the top. Okay? So for this lot, we have no issue. Once we access this lot, we have an existing house. The existing house is crawl space, so we have no room for storage or anything. Since we have no room in this house, we are planning to have a detached garage in this area, right on the top in the existing lot number 1. Once we have this garage, we are planning to have a storage on the top. So we have 8-foot ceiling for the first floor and 9-foot ceiling for the second floor. There is no intention for commercial, industrial, or any ADU use. The only use for this dwelling is for the personal use for the resident in this house, in this property. So we are not planning, or we have no intention for anything besides using for garage and storage. That's the 2 requests that we are doing today. Again, this lot has FEMA. We are following all the FEMA regulations for this lot. We are following all the setbacks necessary for this lot. There is any type of issue for this lot. The only point that we are requesting is here to access this existing lot, where we already have the driveway. We don't need to rebuild a new driveway. We're just gonna fix and repair, but we're not proposing a new driveway in this area. And for this lot, we will be able to have an regular driveway here to access the proposed house as well. So that's a request that we have for this night.
Commissioners to my right, any questions?
Yes, I have some questions. So I do know, I don't see any grading on the plans. What's the site, I drove by it, and I'm somewhat familiar with this property.
Okay.
And having visited there, and I haven't been there, that it is a difficult driveway challenging driveway to come up. And one thing that was pointed, I can't tell exactly what the grades are without grading on here. I don't know whether it meets the current, and I noticed there was comments from the city engineer that said that you'll have to get a driveway permit, okay? Do you know that if you'll be able to get a driveway permit when you make these changes? On this section? It's flatter this way, but it's very steep over here. And there's a requirement that it be 15% grade, less than 15%. Will you be able to maintain a 15% grade over there and get the permit? Are you making a bad situation worse, okay? Will you be able to get the permit? Now, will this be a non-conforming lot as far, you can't build a driveway, you can't get access, okay? That's the question, one question I have. I have other questions, but.
Okay, yeah, we have the grades in here.
What's the maximum grade on the driveway right now?
I'm sorry, I don't have this one in particular, but I can bring for you as well. But we have the existing driveway, which was approved before. If necessary, if any changes.
It was approved before?
Yeah, it is existing driveway.
Who approved it?
I mean, it is existing with the proposed house, it was built together.
But the other driveway is less than, is a flatter driveway, is less than, before, now you're taking away the driveway that made code, okay?
There is two driveways in the property.
Right,
I don't know. It is existing.
Well-
We have one around this area.
well, that's my point, was that this driveway is flatter, okay, than
Yeah,
that
but it's
driveway.
not the one that they use.
It's,
The existing driveway that we have around this area that you can see in the photos that I brought to you, they don't go all the way up. They go just around this area.
well, I tell you, that I have been there and visited there, I know, I would come up this way and go out this way because I couldn't go, it was dangerous to go down that driveway, okay? I would come up this way if I could make it. If I couldn't make it, I'd go that way, but then I would come out that way. It's flatter going up this way than going up.
Okay.
So that was just one point. So the other question I have is regarding the frontage, and I know you say you try to have a fully conforming lot, okay?
Yes.
The 19 feet is a lot less than what would normally be allowed under an interior lot, which is, and the reason that they call for a 30-foot width on interior lot is to provide accessibility for the driveway, utilities, emergency services, police, okay, fire. This is very narrow here. Now, if it's, that was the point. I would rather see the 30 feet, okay, to
Okay.
meet, and then, in other words, and get a second variance. I would be okay with a second variance for the other lot to be a little, like 10 feet less, so you get your 30 feet, 11 feet.
Yeah, but as you can see in the photos that I brought as well, this area has a lot of ledge. So
Yes.
So even we extend here, we will not be able to extend all the way the driveway.
Well, it's not, it's more than that. The reason for the 30 feet that's provided in this town's code for interior lots, which is when you normally run across an interior, a reduced frontage, okay?
Okay.
We don't usually come up with variances this significant where you're reducing the frontage and a variance on the front from, because you're splitting the lot effectively, and you're asking the P and Z to do the work of zoning, okay, effectively, to determine whether is this a lot, and I can't tell you without seeing the grading. I don't know that it's buildable like the way you're doing it, and I don't know that it'll meet code afterwards. I think there's more here. It's a significant change, okay, that's my point, that you're proposing. And other question, okay, you mentioned you want to have a proposed two-story barn office. Is under the is it even allowed to have a two-story barn office? I mean, the garage is supposed to be 15 feet. And,
Yes. Yeah, we've approved, well, you as the board have approved several applications that had a second story.
Yeah, but a barn office for that use, I'm talking about the use, okay? What's the use? You mentioned that it would be for storage, but on the call out on the accessory building is called out as a proposed two-story barn office, not as a storage shed, okay, or a storage, or a garage.
Yeah, first
You
floor.
mentioned the garage, it's not even called out as being a garage.
Yeah, for the first floor is gonna be garage, for the second floor is gonna be storage. And as I mentioned, in the existing house, just have 3-4 bedrooms, which is not gonna be enough for them. So they will use partial for storage and partial for office, but not for commercial use, just for the personal use, because they are business owners as well. So they need more room, since the house has no full basement or other area that they can work.
We have any other, any from the attorney, is it?
Commissioner Commissioner Reale, would you please like to, do you have any questions? I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to ask questions of this applicant and hopefully clarify some of the outstanding issues relative to this application. First, my first question, ma'am, is with regard to the existing driveway on lot number 1, right, new lot number 1, that existing driveway, is that currently being used?
Yes,
Okay. And you haven't received any kind of cease and desist order or anything from planning and zoning saying, or the building department saying you're not permitted to use that driveway, is that correct?
no, we didn't receive anything.
Okay, and it's your intention to maintain that same driveway as it exists going to the existing dwelling on new lot number 1, is that correct?
Yes, it is not in the best shape. We're gonna repair that, but we are planning to keep this one for the main use of the house.
And if you're repairing that driveway and you have to add anything to it, it would be your intention to apply for whatever building permits necessary in order to do so, is that correct?
Of course, yes.
So with regard to the 2 lots, I understand your intentions were good in terms of, or as I perceive it, your intentions were good with regard to trying to maintain a conforming frontage for what is new lot, proposed lot number 2, correct?
Correct.
And by default, the balance of the linear feet, the 19 feet, end up being the frontage for the existing lot number 1, is that correct?
Yes, that's the intention, mainly because of the shape of the lot, the amount of ledge that we have in the lot. That's the reason why. And also for this lot, we have the FEMA regulations in here that we have to follow. So in order to be following as much as regulation as we can, we ended up with the only one request for this lot.
Okay, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you tried to comply, based upon this plan, you were trying to comply as much as possible with the zoning regulations when you when you created proposed lot number 2, is that correct?
Yes, that's the point that we are looking for, mainly because this lot has been, this area of the lot.
And when
has-
you say this area, you mean, you're referring to lot 2,
I'm
correct?
referring the lot 2, the proposed lot, where this area hasn't, let's say that has no use. So teenagers are using the area for drugs and, drinks and all of this area. So once the client was cleaning the lot, he could find a lot of things that shouldn't be there. So for security as well of the neighbors and to have a proposed use for this area, because let's say that the client don't do anything here, that's gonna remain the same. So in order to have another use for this point and by following the regulations as much as we can, as you mentioned, we are just requesting for this area.
Okay. And so, just as a follow-up to Commissioner Roshansky's commentary and questioning with regard to the frontage of 19 feet on lot number 1, would you have an objection if you created a 30-foot frontage, not driveway? The frontage would be 30 foot, the driveway would remain as is. However, the division between proposed lot 1 and proposed lot 2 and lot number 1, instead of 125 and 19, and my math skills aren't that great, would be 30 feet for lot number 1, and the balance for lot number 2, and you'd have to request a variance for the frontage for lot number 2. And I think that's the point that Mr. Roshansky was trying to make. And the purpose, according to Mr. Roshansky, and has been our experience as a board, has been to allow for additional vehicles to go in the event of an emergency, not to create a 30-foot wide driveway. However, the driveway would remain the same, and the frontage would be 30 feet. Do you understand? Is that?
Yeah.
And with that, would you believe the applicant would be objectionable to that if we required that?
I don't think so. I believe that we could follow that point. But bringing, once you can see the photos, you're gonna see that here pretty much we just gonna have, for example, fancy, because we are not, we can't build anything here in this area. So it's gonna be just the numbers, but we can't build anything here.
Right,
Just
right.
gonna remain the driveway as it is, but we're gonna meet the 30 feet.
Right, right, and I
Right.
think that's the point that Mr. Roshansky was making. For public
Yeah.
safety purposes and emergency services, a 30-foot frontage we've approved in the past with regard to an interior lot.
I
In other words, access to a rear lot off the road.
Including where it wasn't an interior lot, but we did a variance, similar variance, we wanted a wider.
Okay, I understand, and my client is not against this. If
Great.
necessary, we can follow the regulation.
Commissioners, if I could weigh in with a little bit of information that might help you make a decision. In regards to the road frontage, the 19-foot request, I visited this site many times, currently with the new owners to look at the application, and also the prior owners, because I issued cease and desist orders there. Creating a wider frontage would really just be a matter of semantics, because it's not usable. What's there is usable. To my best recollection, I think engineering requires a minimum of a 12-foot wide driveway. Engineering does weigh in on all of our zoning board of appeals applications and provides comments, as you know. They did look at the topography of this property and the existing driveway. I would surmise that had they had concerns or comments about the driveway, then those would have been included with the comments for this application. It's certainly something within your purview that you could do. I just think that it would be a matter of semantics on paper, just making it wider, but wouldn't be usable and wouldn't satisfy the spirit of the regulation of having a 30-foot wide access point for an interior lot, which this is not. To point number 2, to the barn in the rear, if you recall, there have been several applications that have been approved prior with similar circumstances. Yeah.
Well, I certainly appreciate the additional information, and you, ma'am, you listened to what the staff report was with regard, clarification with regard to that frontage. Is that your understanding of that area, that area is unusable, so even if it was 30 feet, a vehicle couldn't come in off that in any event, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so that's why you have the 19-foot as well, in addition to maintaining the 125-foot, meeting the regulation on the proposed lot, too.
Exactly, you're right. And while we are working with the surveyor as well, we brought the idea to, make it wider or change some points of this lot and request the variance for both. But as Brian said, it is just in terms of numbers, because as you can see here, we have a stone wall right here. So we can't build anything in that area. We just need to remain with the existing driveway.
In addition to not being able to build there, it's not accessible, is that correct, by a
Yeah, that's the
vehicle?
point.
Great, thank you. Now, with regard to what's listed as a proposed 2-story barn / office on the plan, your testimony is that it's gonna be storage only, and then you did mention that they may use it personally for their business. Can you
When I say-
clarify that, please?
When I say business, it's because, he has his own business, or her wife has a business, but at the end of the day, they need to do proposals and regular things of any business. So the existing house has just 4 bedrooms, which will not gonna be enough for the entire family. So they need more room, because they don't have grow space. I mean, they just have grow space, they don't have full basement, they don't have more area. First floor is all open space. So sometimes they need to do some calls, regular office routine. So they need a private room for that. Where we could find that was in the garage. So they are not willing to have anything for clients to come. They are not planning to have anything industrial, commercial. That's not the idea for this. The idea is just in the end of the day, they have a room that they can have a seat and do the business tasks as regular.
So is it your testimony that the limitation on height, you need to exceed the height limitation in order to allow for usable space on the second floor of what you call the garage?
We need the first floor for the garage because they have trucks, so they need a ceiling height. And the second floor for storage, since they have car space and they don't have enough room, and for the use of the office, they need a regular ceiling height.
And, you know, it's our responsibility as a commission, in order to allow a variance from the zoning regulations, we have to find that there's a hardship, right? Some reason why an applicant cannot comply with the regulations. In my opinion, I'm seeing that you can comply with the regulations, the height, there's no reason why you cannot. You're just choosing to apply for a variance because you want a higher building.
When we talk about the height, per the regulations, it is 15 feet, so which is not enough for a double ceiling for the first and second floor.
Right.
So that's the reason why we're asking to extend.
Yeah, we don't make the rules here, we just try and
Yeah,
follow them, or giving you a reason to vary
I
from them,
understand,
you
yeah.
know? But if the rule is 15 feet, I think it's the burden's on the applicant to demonstrate to us why you should not be required to comply with that rule and what your hardship is, and I just don't see a hardship. In fact, I mean, I have a existing house here, and you could put an addition on the house if you just wanted to create some additional space, perhaps.
We are, I'm sorry, we are allowed to be the garage. We have enough room for that. We are following the setbacks. The existing house, as I said, just have 4 bedrooms, which is not enough for the family. They don't have more room in the house to split and have an office area for them. And besides that, they have a crawl space, so they don't have more room to store anything. They don't have enough area for that.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry to interrupt, what's the age of the building on proposed lot 1? It's an older house, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
How old?
I have it here. I'm sorry, I don't have any.
But I've driven past it a
It's
million
old
times.
house.
It's at least 80 to 100 years old.
Yeah.
And because of the unique historical nature of the home and the topography on the landscape and the fact that the abutting lot to this proposed addition is a commercial site which is anywhere between 30 and 40 feet higher than the lot. This is the beginning of the Pequannock River Valley. This is where the valley starts and starts to go down. So because of I would just say to Commissioner Reale, you know, based on the conditions of the lot, this may be something that we may look as the hardship with topography and the older nature of the existing home where they don't want to do an addition, keep the character of the building, and then afford them the opportunity to create some more space for a family and a business.
Yeah. And here in this area, it's a flat area right on the top. And we have almost 4 feet difference between this flat area and the proposed area. So it's not have a huge discrepancy in the area. And other than that, we have trees that it's gonna cover pretty much everything, so it's not gonna be visible from the road.
Commissioners to my right, any further questions?
I believe submitted a,
Shansky Hitcher.
Regarding to that question, wasn't there a vision appraisal that was submitted with this? That with the application is for backup? Is
Yes.
the date of the home, you asked a question, how old is the home? It might be on the vision
I was
appraisal.
just curious, I just know it's really old, I was hoping.
1982.
What?
It's newer, yeah. I thought it was 70s, it's 82.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I just thought it
It's
would
too
be.
old.
Commissioners to my right, any further questions?
One further question. You show a septic system that's there, is that the sewage disposal system for the house? Or will you, is there I don't see a septic line connection into the street.
Yeah, for the existing house, we have the septic system.
So he's not proposing to connect in, well, are you talking about the width of the road, the width often he provides? ability to-
Just so you know, in the notes, Joe, it does state that they have to comply with all the drainage and sewage standards, which will be read to them if this application does eventually get proposed.
Right.
They have to comply with those standards,
And
Joe.
also with the driveway requirement that it be.
Yeah, driveway as well is in here.
It meets spec, you gotta
Yep.
get a permit, which means that you gotta get less than
Yeah,
15%.
and because the other building, the proposed lot 2 is a new building, it has to comply because it's within, I mean, I don't know what the rules are for FEMA, but it's close to the Paquonic River. They have to comply with all the FEMA standards as well because it's a new construction. So they've got a lot of work ahead of them. Commissioners to my left, do you have any questions? Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Prior to moving, ma'am, I understand. Prior to moving forward, I have a letter here dated on May, you can go ahead and sit down, ma'am. May the 3rd, 2025, from Ronald Machado, and this is to whom it may concern, subject 35 Broadway. This letter is to confirm that the property owners within 150 feet of the subjected property have received the notification letter for the upcoming variance meeting. All recipients were informed of the date, time, and location of the meeting, as well as the nature of the proposed variance. Below are the signatures of those who received and acknowledged the notification. I won't go through the names, but the addresses are 247 Park Lane, 101 Broadway, 87 Broadway, 17 Whitney Ave, and 53 Broadway. Moving forward, there's a second letter, also from Ronald Machado. This is to whom it may concern. We, the undersigned neighbors of 35 Broadway, confirmed that we have been informed of the proposed plans for the property and understand the intent of the variance request. After speaking with the applicant, we are in favor of the application and support their efforts to move forward with the project. We acknowledge that this letter is not an official part of the application, but serves to demonstrate community support for the proposed improvements. Again, unfortunately, these last names are, it's a lot of tough to read, so I'll read off the addresses, which are 247 Park Lane, 101 Broadway, and 15 Whitney Ave. Does anyone here in the, at the meeting tonight would also like to come forward and speak in favor of this application? Are you here to speak in favor of the application?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in opposition of this application? Please come forward. Would you like to come forward, ma'am? Can you do me a favor? Can you state your name and your address for the record for me, please?
Yes, Mariko Negoro Bender. I live on 53 Broadway,
Okay.
next door. I talked to Veronica briefly. It's my husband couldn't be here because we both have severe seasonal allergies. I'm in a better condition as I'm here. His concern is that it's a quiet neighborhood and it has to be kept that way. But welcome, Ronald, to our neighbor. Now, my concern is about the driveway, 35 Broadway, properties Broadway. And I understand that they did the survey, and they shows that the driveway belongs to 35 Broadway. However, and I understand that, and so we are going to do the survey as well to make sure. Now, here's the story. My husband's previous owner was approached by Tom Schettino, who owned the 35 Broadway before Ronald. And he approached her saying that, well, I want to create a driveway, but it's going to go into your property. So I'm going to he even said the amount of money to say that I want to have that part of property to create driveway. And she declined. Now, when my husband purchased the property, Tom Schettino told him that, well, we took your property. The driveway is already done. Now, why I know the previous owner's story? Because she is my husband's ex-wife. So we know this. detailed storage. And I talked with my architect friend and real estate friend, and it seems that take the survey is the only way to prove the things. Now, a couple of years ago, I discovered that the electric pole was in our property. And it took a long time, and we didn't have to do the survey at that point. With other people's help and the town hall's help, we proved to Frontier and UI to prove that that actually was in our property. So they moved the pole on their expense, but it took a long time. And this time, we don't know for sure, 100% sure. There are oral statements, and so we are going to do the survey and to see what is the truth.
So
before
if I
that, we
may,
can't- yes,
so your concern is that
the existing driveway.
that the surveys that we're looking at right now may be inaccurate, and that
That's correct.
you're concerned that
Yes.
their driveway may actually, based on the plans that we were presented, may be in your property.
Correct.
Okay.
I checked, yes, I understand that these are not 100% correct, but all websites, Landglide, Zillow, Realtors, and AcroValley.com, everything shows that the driveway is partially our property.
Okay.
So that is our concern, and we'll take the survey to find out. what
Okay.
it is. So until then, we can't say approval or whatever, support. or-
Understand.
That's right.
Commissioners, any questions? Would you like to come forward and address her concerns, please? Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I have a chance to speak with her once I went to the property and get all the segment tours. I understand that all the maps that we have online might not be accurate. As we can see, we have checked it. Some of them show the driveway, the proper line. But we have made the official survey. It is a certified survey. We have here very low.
No, unfortunately, so what you're showing me right now, and I'm going to pass these around, it does not show exactly where you're putting this proposed driveway now. So it does show the property borders, right?
Yes, correct.
But it doesn't show where you're putting the driveway.
That's the existing driveway that we are showing there.
The existing one, but aren't you proposing a new one for in the 19 feet?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it is in
But-
here, okay.
Yeah, but we are showing you, just to compare the survey that we made, and I know that we have the large copy as well, so you can better visualize. But we have the map from the internet that we can find.
Oh, okay, there it is, okay.
So that's both. The GIS, I took the GIS. So we can compare. From the certified survey, all the driveway is in the proper line. So it is inside of our property. It's not on her property. I have spoke with her. We understand that she can make the survey to compare both, but we are working with this one. It is a certified one, and it shows everything by regulation and inside of our property.
Okay, any questions for,
Yeah, well, I see what the previous comment, her comment, and that is that it appears that from the survey, and I trust the survey, the license survey that was done by the licensed, the LS, the licensed surveyor, okay, over these
Yes,
GIS, okay?
Exactly.
But I do see that on this map that it appears that the driveway is over, maybe a foot or half foot over, but that also, the projection of the driveway goes across the property line. There is a requirement for driveways that you not go through the projection of the property line to the street line. I mean, I don't know, I couldn't state, you'd have to have the engineer comply to that. That is a point, that's a minor point. It wouldn't change my, I'm still, we'll talk about this, and
Okay.
I got no other issues, no other questions.
Okay,
But I
but-
just want to point that out.
Yeah, but the one that we could find in the internet and she brought for me as well It is a huge difference between the existing and the proposal. We understand for real estate, they usually get more room, get more lots to sell the property. But in this one, you can better visualize where is the existing driveway and the lines as well. So everything is inside of the lot. And again, we're gonna do whatever is necessary to meet all the regulations as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, the only comment I have with regard to the ambiguity with regard to the driveway is, would you be objectionable to having your surveyor provide a certification that the driveway is located within your property boundary lines?
Yes.
Just to wear suspenders and a belt, so to speak.
Well,
But,
we requested that he send this one, the one that I just dropped off. It is a small scale, but we can have the regular one.
Yeah, as I look at the plot plan that you provided with your application, I agree with Commissioner Rashansky that it seems like, in my eyes, they're 60 years old now, so they're not as good as they used to be, but it seems like there may be a slight de minimis overlap, but unless the surveyor, can clarify that by even just a letter stating that, based upon their dimensions, the driveway is completely on your property, I don't think I can make that determination, and that would help determine the factual grounds with regard to the driveway, whether it's on Ms. Bender's property partially or completely on the property owned by Mr. Machado.
From what I am saying is that once you get like the GIS or others internet maps, it shows it all the way in the property. That's a huge difference, which what we have right now. That shows exactly in the property line. The one that I just dropped off, the green one, has all the topography, and we of course can get it certified as well, so we can have both with everything, and should prove that it is in our property as well.
Commissioners to my left, any other further comments? Button.
Just not satisfied with
Rich, can you turn on your microphone, please?
the boundary lines as far as
I mean, do you have any specific?
the
specific to her?
telephone pole goes and stuff. I'm not, I don't know.
So basically, where we're at right now, where I would suggest we are at right now, based on the time frame in which the neighbors were notified, and then some of the issues that were brought to light today with regards to the ambiguity, someone say it for me, ambiguity of the property border and the location of the driveway, would you like us to vote on a continuance so that we can you have an opportunity to have all the other people who were notified that by law have more time to respond to this application and to be able to clarify the concerns of the one existing neighbor that's here? Would you like us to just vote for a continuance, or would you like us to vote on this matter right now?
Besides this option, let's say that if you approve, we can move forward.
I can't tell you if we're going to approve or not until we go into, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just asking. If approve it, we can move forward, or we still need to wait for their on the other notifications?
No, I don't think you understand. So either you presented your application, we can approve it. However, one of your neighbors can, because of the duration of the time between they were notified and this meeting, it was not adequate. So they have an opportunity, we can end up approving it and then you being shut down because of that one issue based on the amount of time the neighbors had to respond to this application. And I think you can tell by the basis of the conversation we're having right now that there is some more information that you may be able to provide us to ensure that your applicant gets a better shot at their desired outcome.
Okay.
So would you prefer to have a
can I-
continuance, or would you like us to vote on this matter right now?
Can I just ask if it is denied, I still can, I have to reapply, how that works?
If you're denied, you're denied. You have to change your plans to come up with another application.
Okay, and if not, we can just move this for the upcoming month?
Yes. If it's denied, you're done.
Okay.
And you can't come back to us unless you make significant changes to your plans. So it's up to you.
Understand. Yeah. So as I can see here today, I believe that the best option would be to move for the upcoming
The
month.
continuance?
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to continue this matter?
I'll make that motion, Mr.
Seconded by Mr. Mayo, all in favor? Thank you very much. We have one, and so you'll be in touch with Brian with regards to, it'll be the first Wednesday of the month of June.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you. We have one more application.
Last one.
Where is it? We are going to vote on, yeah, sit down, please. An extension of time for approved application 24-23, 900 White Plains Road. Attorney Chris Russo for the Trumbull Center LLC. I have a letter from Attorney Russo. In connection with the submitted request to receive a 6-month extension to satisfy condition number 3 of an approval from the Zoning Board of Appeals dated August 28th, 2024, for the property located at 900 White Plains Road in Trumbull, Connecticut. The ZBA approval condition, I respectfully submit the following additional information. As members of the Zoning Board of Appeals are likely aware through the press, site work, and above referred property in connection with the ZBA approval has been halted while analysis of the bulk material from the demolition of the buildings at said property have been conducted. The application has been working with the Connecticut Department of Energy, the applicant has been working with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection and the United States Environmental Protection Agency on the matter. The applicant has notified the DEEP and the EPA of its requirements under the ZBA approval and the timeline of the ZBA approval conditions. We are currently awaiting their written confirmation as how to proceed so that we may continue our work and satisfy the ZBA approval condition. Once we receive that written confirmation, it is our intent to proceed accordingly. As such, the applicants respectfully request the submitted extension. So basically, we voted, you have X amount of time to come up with a plan. I don't understand why they just can't come up with a plan, regardless of what's there with environmental conditions. Just hire a landscape architect and just draw something up. you know?
Commissioners,
Sorry.
the stipulation was that by May 10th.
By
that-
May 10th.
By May 10th, not that they have a plan, but that the greenscape be completed.
Oh, be completed?
Yes. And yeah, the plans have already been approved.
Oh, the plan,
And
okay. My
because of their
misunderstanding.
ongoing environmental issues there, they
So
can't,
we
they
have.
can't do anything.
We have plans, they're ready to rock once they get the check mark.
That's correct.
Let's vote on this extension. All in favor of,
One question, is the 6 months sufficient?
they'll come back in 6 months if it's not.
Yeah.
So before we go
Yeah.
to a vote, may I, Mr. Chairman, have the opportunity to either ask questions or just kind of clarify something here? May I have that?
Please, without a
No,
doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So first of all, number 3 in the approval letter dated August 28, 2024 states owner shall complete the installation of landscaping by May 10th, 2024. Now, I assume that means May 10th, 2025. It was an error in the approval letter, and I just want to clarify that, number 1. Number 2 is, so the plan was approved, my understanding is, thanks to Brian's editorial. Is that correct, Brian?
That's correct. The variance was contingent on approval by the town planner of their greenscape plan, which he did approve.
Oh, so the greenscape plan has been approved. So my question is, and I don't know if it can be answered or not, is why do they need an extension at this point?
Because of the environmental concerns that have been raised through the state at the property, it basically has frozen any activity that can go on there. So they can't further disturb the ground until the town receives information back from DEEP and the Department of Health on how they can proceed.
And do we know what those concerns are at this time?
Yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm basically just going to say from what I know from the press is that there were concerns of contaminants that were left behind from the demolition.
Okay, so my question would be, and I don't know if anyone here can answer it, the applicant may be able to, but why did they allow them to take down the building without assuring there were no contaminants that were going to be left over?
So they did. We did have a meeting yesterday. That is a point of ongoing contention between the town and the state and the developers. They provided abatement letters in 2021 that lead and asbestos were removed from the site. Obviously, they didn't demolish until 3 years later, over 3 years later. And that's I would just say that it's still up for discussion between all of those agencies in the town. Yeah.
No, I absolutely appreciate your being able to, provide us with that information, because needless to say, simply just haphazardly saying, oh yeah, sure, we'll give you a continuance without doing our due diligence, that's our responsibility as well as a commission, is to ask the questions and why.
I can say that they submitted a completed application that was satisfactory to the town at the time to demolish the buildings.
For the issuance of a demolition permit, is that correct?
That's correct.
Right, I'm just, naturally disappointed that after the building's down, they determined that there were contaminants. And
I don't think that has been determined. I think that's just a point of discussion at this point.
Okay, great. No, I absolutely appreciate your providing some of the gaps and answering the questions that I had. I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you.
Any commissioners, any other comments prior to voting on the continuance for this applicant? So do I have a motion to,
I have one other comment, and I'm sorry for interjecting this, but, it's kind of an eyesore down there.
yeah, no, that's the reason why I thought they were just plans
Yeah.
that you had to come up with.
Is there anything the town can do, or we can do as a commission, granting the continuance subject to, I don't know, spray paint the blanking fence green, something, just to make it look a little nicer
I'll
down
speak from
there.
my experience dealing
Thank
with the DEP, having multiple pesticide licenses for over 25, 30 years. They're not going to let you touch that site for a while. And literally breathing on it is going to be an issue. So, you could attest to that. It's going to be, but although the DEP has gotten much better, but it's going to take some time. They're not going to do anything until it gets resolved.
Mr. Chairman, the town has no jurisdiction
Yeah,
over this situation.
It's the, yeah,
Deep, and
yeah.
they can't commence landscaping work until the
Yep. Okay, we have Commissioner Rosansky has made a motion to approve the 6-month continuance? No. Do I have a second?
Actually, we need, Mr. Elbaum is sitting on this.
Oh, you're sure? Okay, you're sitting? Okay.
All right, so I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to approve.
Seconded?
Second.
All in favor? 6-month extension. Prior to closing this meeting, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank Steve Elbaum's almost 15 years of service to the Trumbull ZBA. He will be moving later this summer or you're moving to Fairfield when, sir?
Summer.
This summer. Congratulations. And love serving with you. Thank you so much for your time and commitment to this community. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Or, I'm sorry.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. We have wonderful staff. Thank you for the video that we have every night. Thank you for our staff. And I know I've served under a couple of staff people. Thank you to everybody. Great job, and town attorney's wonderful as well. So I've enjoyed serving with all of you, and we all do good work. It's part of the social contract.
Exactly. Got to give back. Any other comments, commissioners?
I can't hold my tongue, I'm sorry, but, Commissioner Elbaum, when I came in, was the chair, and unbeknownst to him, he served as a mentor to me, so you can either blame him for how I act or thank him for being such a powerful, instructive mentor and demonstrating by his experience and leading by example how to act and how to serve on this commission with respect to not only each other, and to staff, but most importantly to the public, because that's who we serve as a conglomerate, as a commission. So Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate you, and I was thankful to have your leadership. All the best.
Motion to adjourn. Seconded. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
I worked on the, right there.
Oh, yeah?